Okay, I'm going to show you today how to mount any build surface to any plate with the dry method. At the end of the video, I'll get into a discussion of dry versus wet, but I just want to show you what's happening. Right now, we're using the Wham Bam flexible build system as an example. So we're going to be using the Flexi Plate, which is a spring steel plate, and in this case, the PEX build surface. This will work with PC build surfaces, with PEI, with various build surfaces. It'll even work directly to your heated bed. I'm just going to show you the technique that I would use to get a good application. Some things that you're going to need. You're going to either need a credit card or a smooth applicator to be able to spread the material out and put some pressure on, or preferably, if you have one of these, a little roller. We're going to need some IPA, isopropyl alcohol, just used to clean the Flexi Plate before we put anything down on it. We'll need some paper towel. We'll need some 000 steel wool. A little piece comes with your Wham Bam kit, should you be ordering the kits now. We've updated the kits to include that. That's about it. I use my alcohol, by the way, in one of these handy little squeeze bottles. I use it so much to clean in between that I always do it. Okay, so first step we're gonna do is just quickly clean the Flexi Plate so it's nice and beautiful and shiny. Here we're using the 235 system, the system that's very appropriate for the Ender 3 and other models of printers. So I just clean it once with alcohol. And from then on, I'm going to try not to touch the surface. I can touch the tabs because they won't be covered. The next thing I'm going to do is turn over the PEX. I usually keep the logo down towards me. By the way, I have the leading face of the Flexi Plate away from me. I'll show you why in a minute. And then I peel up the backing paper, if I can get this. Okay, I peel up the backing paper. Oh, first of all, work in a very clean area. Any dust or dirt or anything that's around your shop can statically cling, and that's just going to create bubbles. You want to have a perfectly clean space that you're working with. I peel back an inch or about 30 millimeters of material, and I fold carefully. I try not to touch that 3M glue. It's very aggressive. I fold this over carefully. Okay, the reason why I do that is this helps me in aligning. So I could put this down. I'm putting more pressure towards the front, not towards the glue. I get that alignment right. And that folded piece of paper keeps the glue off the back until I'm sure that it's all aligned. This looks really wonderful. And then I'll go ahead and put some pressure down in the back. And what we do is we always work from the center out. That way we're spreading out the air bubbles outward. We always work that way. Okay, so what I will do is I will go ahead and put some pressure on this. Once again, you could use a card. I try to work from the center out. Now I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to grab that flap of paper and I'm going to pull this slowly and keep it elevated in the air while I go towards the center with my roller or my card and then outward. I'm really just trying to get the bubbles out. At this point, we can work on a hard surface, keeping this thing nice and flat. Up from the center, outward. Up from the center, outward. We're just trying to get any air that could be trapped under the surface to be distributed to all the edges. Up from the center and outward. Of course, with the card, it's a similar technique. You could even use your fingers, by the way, but you could just spread with the card and push. I can use my fingers as well, but it's harder to get a really good pressure going. Just trying to show various options for you. In the very end, same thing, up out of the center and outward. Then just try to rub it all down. In this case, I might use my roller again. Okay, we're 90% done. It really doesn't take very much time. Now, I'm gonna take this piece up because we're gonna get dirty again. The next thing we have to do is the PX comes with a protective film on there. You have to make sure you remove it. If you don't, the print is not gonna stick to this and you'll be melting that surface. So we go ahead and pull that up. And now we have a wonderful build surface installation. You might see some little white hazing, but these are under the surface. It's just the way that the glue extends as it goes down. Our PX is so transparent, you see all that. This is happening under every build surface. Those black ones or opaque ones or orange ones just don't show it. But that's not gonna affect your print. As long as you don't have any big bubbles that are raised up that you could feel, this is absolutely fine. Okay, now in the case of PEX or PEI, we usually want to open up the pores of the surface because it's been created through very hot rollers and it's really sealed off that surface. You can use it completely shiny and perfect like this. It will eventually lose some of its grip as the material starts to absorb some debris from the filaments, some of the contaminants from filaments. But I like to have the best grip possible. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our IPA alcohol here, we're gonna take our steel wool, and we'll make lots of little circles. And for prudence, you might wanna do this for a full minute. Between prints in the future, you could do this for about 10 seconds, maximum 5 seconds. A little bit of steel wool and alcohol. And that's just between prints. It's used to help to remove any contaminants that might have been in the filament that are impregnating the sheet. Opens up the pores and it just gets them to raise the surface. If you like a very, very shiny plate because you want a mirror finish on the bottom of your printed part, you can always go from 000 to 40 or 50 steel wool. The more zeros, the finer it is. If you really want it rough and really grippy, you could go down to 20. I believe this is 00. I actually see the tracks quite a bit. Okay, I'm done that. So now all I have to do is clean the surface. So we're removing any of the PEX dust that we could have created. So once again, some isopropyl alcohol, some paper towel, and then one more sheet of fresh paper towel, another squirt of alcohol, just to make sure it's clean. And there is your install. This really shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes. It's pretty simple. I think this is ready to print. It's beautiful. It's a nice mount. Like I said, any little hazing underneath is not going to affect your print at all. And a lot of them will go away with heat and use. I am taking down my wet method of applying. And the reason why is some people have noticed that with the wet method, there is some liquid trapped underneath. It does go down really beautifully, but if it's not applied exactly correctly, you might be trapping some liquid underneath that just is really hard to get out because you'll be sealing the other areas. It's basically like creating a bottle where the product can't evaporate. I must be doing something wrong. I know quite a few window decorators who use the windex and the wet method and others that put decals on. So if anybody has a better way of doing the wet method to ensure that there are no bubbles and no liquid trapped, please post it in the comments. I'd love to learn. I'll experiment a little bit before I give my okay to use it on our systems. But for right now, I'm going to advise everybody buying a Wham Bam kit to apply with the dry method, and you'll be sure that you get really great results. This is printable right away. Once you've burnished that down, it's ready to go on a heat bed. You have no waiting and no problems. Thank you.